It was a typical Saturday morning in the suburbs of Virginia Beach, the kind of quiet, slow-paced day that made you think nothing unusual could happen. The sun was still low in the sky, casting a warm, golden hue across the neighborhood. Birds chirped from the trees, and the distant sound of lawnmowers hummed through the air. Everything seemed peaceful, until I heard the sound of a tow truck pulling into my driveway. I looked out the window, confused. My helicopter, my pride and joy, was parked just a few yards away, on the grass patch I'd turned into my personal landing pad. It was a small, sleek civilian helicopter, one I'd purchased with my own savings after years of service in the Navy. I had always loved flying, and the helicopter gave me a sense of freedom, a way to escape the chaos of the world below. But as I watched, the tow truck stopped in front of my house, and I saw her HOA Karen standing on the sidewalk, arms crossed, scowling up at the helicopter as if it were some kind of eyesore. I had seen her before. She was the kind of woman who spent her days running around the neighborhood, nitpicking at anything that wasn't up to code in her eyes. Always complaining, always trying to exert her control over everyone. I had learned to avoid her, but I knew, deep down, this moment was bound to come. I stormed out the front door before the tow truck driver could hook up to my chopper. "Hey!" I yelled, rushing toward them. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" Karen didn't even flinch at my approach. Instead, she turned to the tow truck driver and gave him a nod. "Just doing my job," he said, shrugging. "Hold on a second," I shouted. "You can't just take my helicopter." Karen smirked, stepping forward with an air of superiority. "Oh, I think I can. It's an eyesore, and you're breaking several neighborhood codes. You're not allowed to park that thing here. It's not even a proper garage. I've had complaints, and I'm just making sure we keep this neighborhood respectable." I looked around, my mind racing. There was no way this woman could be serious. I had always kept my helicopter in good condition, and as far as I knew, there were no rules against having it parked on my property. But before I could protest further, Karen snapped her fingers. "Get it towed now." The tow truck driver shrugged again and moved toward the helicopter, preparing to lift it. I was about to lose it when I realized something. I wasn't just any regular guy living in this quiet suburban neighborhood. I was a Navy pilot, a veteran, and I wasn't about to let this woman or anyone else push me around like this. With a deep breath, I stepped up to Karen, my voice calm but firm. "You really want to do this, Karen?" I asked, locking eyes with her. "You don't even know who I am, do you?" She raised an eyebrow, completely unfazed. "I know enough to see that you're a troublemaker with a noisy toy. Just because you used to be in the military doesn't mean you get special treatment around here." I smiled, feeling a sense of calm wash over me. "Well then, let me introduce myself properly. I'm Captain James Walker, Navy pilot, currently on reserve status, and that toy, as you call it, is my property. It's not going anywhere." Her face turned pale. The smirk vanished. "What? What did you just say?" "I said I'm a Navy pilot," I repeated, standing taller. "That helicopter is mine, and I'm not breaking any rules. If you try to have it towed again, you'll be making a big mistake." For the first time, Karen's confidence faltered. She stammered for a moment, trying to collect herself. You can't park that thing here. It's not allowed." "Actually," I interrupted, "it is allowed. You see, Karen, you might think you know the rules of this neighborhood, but you don't know a damn thing about me. I've served this country, and if you think I'm going to let someone like you bully me or anyone else in this neighborhood, you've got another thing coming." Her face turned red as she took a step back. "You're going to regret this," she hissed, but she knew she had lost. She turned on her heels and stormed off, muttering something under her breath about ungrateful veterans and troublemakers. The tow truck driver, who had been standing silently through the whole exchange, lowered his arms and gave me a sympathetic look. "You're good to go, man," he said with a grin. "I'm just following orders." With a nod, I turned to my helicopter, my heart still racing from the confrontation. I watched as Karen disappeared down the street, her silhouette shrinking in the distance. For a moment, I just stood there, breathing in the fresh air. It wasn't the first time someone had underestimated me, and it certainly wouldn't be the last. But today, I had made sure that my rights and my peace weren't going to be taken away by anyone. As I climbed into the cockpit of my helicopter, the sun began to rise higher in the sky, and I took off into the open air, feeling the familiar hum of the blades cutting through the wind. It was in that moment I realized, there's no one who can hold you down unless you let them. And I wasn't about to let anyone, not Karen, not anyone push me around.